I've heard that men like dumb girls, but is that really true? This here is data from one of the largest dating app in China, and of course the East is different from the West, but it's a good sample to look at whether or not it's true that men prefer dumber women. Here we're looking at education level, although it's not an extensive way to look at a person's intelligence because it can depend on IQ and EQ, but this is the data that we have and can work with. Education level is a good approximate of a person's intelligence level. Here's the education preference from the men sending messages to the woman at a different education level. Overall, there isn't a strong preference because it fluctuates around zero. Although there isn't a strong preference, there is preference. So let's look at that even further. So right away, I do see that there's a positive correlation this way on this diagonal axis, which essentially means that people prefer people with their same education level. Technical school people prefer technical school people, colleges prefer colleges, double degree prefer undergraduates, and undergraduates prefer undergraduates. But there's no significance in people with double degree, people who are doctors and have postdoctorate degree. But I do see that doctors do prefer doctors and postdoctors prefer people with graduate degree. What's interesting is that doctor men, the lowest they will go is people with undergraduate degrees, and anything lower than that, like college and technical schools, they actually have a slight negative preference for. And what's even more interesting is that people with postdoctorate, which is essentially the highest level of education you can get, they actually prefer people who at least have a graduate degree. So it is kind of showing that men do prefer women with the same level of intelligence as them and only a little bit lower, not significantly lower. So the saying that men prefer dumb women is not true. But again, here it doesn't have like a strong coloring or anything. It fluctuates around zero. So what that essentially means is that although there is a slight preference for that, they don't care as much or they're okay with dating whoever. If let's say personality and looks overcompensate, maybe.